Hello, I'm back. Hopefully this time it's working. So just switch machines. Current resolution is 1024, which is not supported for this configuration. 1280. Okay, so it's saying to change it, so I'm gonna try. Whether it will let me do it, I don't know. Sorry guys, this is not really what I wanted to be spending all my time doing. Okay, alright, let me stop a second. I'm gonna try and change it. 1 second. Okay, that's positive. Is this working now? Come on. Is this working? Can anybody see me? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Is it working? Is it not? I don't know, because everything's running slow. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this to work. Right, okay, it seems to be working. We've got some movement. Okay, it's not ideal. It's still not perfect, but at least there's activity. So we're going to try our best to continue. Right, so carry on with this picture. So I'm not going to spend much longer on this, because especially when I'm getting too much lag. But we'll get it. Your YouTube's not receiving enough. What does that mean? Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth stream as such. Viewers will experience buffering. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what else. Don't know what YouTube expects me to do, because I really haven't got a clue right now. Right. Just try and get my best. Put my best foot forward. And the thing is about the whole video quality for streaming is I've done everything I can possibly I've looked at videos, I've checked other people, listened to what they've said about how to change the settings, and it doesn't really seem to have helped very much. So I'm just gonna have to run with it for now and hope for the best. Because I'd like to do these things smoothly, and okay, so it's not ideal, but a little bit of buffering for now is fine, as long as you can, you know, that there is some level of activity on the stream, even if it's not perfect. I just don't know what he means by not enough video. I mean, I don't quite understand what you mean by that. That's one thing about YouTube I've found, is when they say there's a problem, they don't really go into much detail, because that could tell me, they could go into a bit more detail as to what they mean by stream health. What do you mean exactly? So not enough really information there to tell me. So yeah. Now why can't I see chat on here? not saying anyone's talking necessarily, but I would like to see, at least I'd like to see if anyone is there. Anyway. This is just for anyone that's just watching the first time. This is just a random Christmas drawing I'm redoing, which is this original one here. I don't know if you can see that, and I'm just recreating that one in a bigger form. And I ask you just to bear with me with all the screen quality and stuff. I am trying to figure out how I can get my screen and my video and everything else smoothly. And as I say, I've made numerous adjustments on it, and it just doesn't seem to be really having much effect. Some days it works brilliantly and I have a really smooth stream and it's fantastic. Other times it just doesn't seem to do anything. So yeah, so not sure what to do really. I say I can only do what I can, and I'm sure it's nothing to do with the internet. I'm sure it's something to do with computer settings or something. I don't know. I'm not very technically minded. I'm not. I wish I was, but wish I knew enough about the technical side of PCs to fix these sort of things, and trying to learn. But I'm hoping over the Christmas I'll try and figure out what I can do, and do quite a few test streams and see if I can get some kind of decency. Output low. I mean, what do you mean output low? I really don't understand. Really don't understand what you mean. Okay. Alright, so we've done all these guys, so let's do our present dude. So that's his arm there. His thumb is going to be here. It's a shame because hopefully you'll see this is, you'll enjoy you can enjoy what I'm trying to create here. But the buffering does make it difficult and concerning for me, because I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. There's his other hand, thumb. Try and make it look like he's got lots of little boxes that are all just wobbling all over the place. Not sure if I'm doing it convincingly at the minute. Try and get this one here all wobbly. Okay, well it is buffering a little bit, but it's not as bad as it was, because before it just was not even doing anything. It was just really not showing very much at all. I need an IT expert who knows how to do this so that I can get the stream looking good and everything else. I might just, for the time being, might have to think about just doing video streams, drawing videos instead and stick with that for the time being, perhaps, just until I can work out how to get the actual streams part of it. But the thing about the streams is, and this is the cool thing, is you can get to, you know, see live what's going on. You can interact with the audience, and that's really what I'm trying to do. And despite my best efforts, just finding it very, 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 very difficult to get a decent stream out. And it's annoying because sometimes the stream is fine. Sometimes I actually do get a little bit of you know, I am actually able to get a smooth enough connection, but what can I say? And it looks like it's frozen. Has it frozen? I cannot tell. Alright, now one thing I did want to change is this igloo here. While I like the shape of the igloo, I feel like it looked a bit off when I was checking it out the other day, so I'm going to change it slightly and give it a bit more of a different angle. In fact, where's my eraser that I know I got out? There it is. I'm trying to bring it more angled. So hopefully that is a little better. Now here's the trick. These are ice blocks, so I want to try and make each ice block a bit more specific, a bit more going on. There's a bit, so there's like a little gap slightly where they've laid on top of each other. This is what I'm trying, the effects I'm trying to get. So I'm just adding a slight indentation on this so that they just look like separate blocks. It's not just lines on a piece of paper, but it actually looks like they've cut a block of ice and just laid it on top of each other like a brick, because that's effectively what they've done. If I can portray that in the final piece, that would be good. So what I should have done with this as well is set the video camera up so that at the very least I'm recording this, and that was sort of the other goal as well, but because I haven't been able to get a smooth stream, it just seems a bit silly to video halfway through the process. So I'm not going to on this occasion, but I think going forwards I definitely need to make sure that even if the stream doesn't give me a smooth camera, at least I've got an external camera recording everything, so at the very least I can do a speed up video of this, which would be good. And then there's the last top bit. Okay, I need to see if there is any chat on there. Okay, right. So the next thing I'm going to work on is this penguin. try and make it look more penguiny. I don't feel like it really looked very penguin like when I was looking at it. Oh yeah, channel. Ah dear. Technology. Technology, man. Can sometimes really let you down, and today it's letting me down big time. Right, so this is my little Eskimo character. This one little twig. There's a little water there. There's a little fur going over his knees and legs. Obviously the detail I'm doing here is very tiny because of where he's at and where, you know, how far away he is and such, but hopefully it will still read. Now this is obviously the ice, so I want to give it a bit of an icy, or at least a indication that it's shiny. Okay, alright, so now this is this ice, and I want to make that a nice straight line, so I don't want to do too many jagged lines on this one, unlike the do with the snow. I want to keep that quite smooth and quite sharp. Yeah. I'll say I hope one day I can get decent streams, guys. I just need to work out how to fix whatever it is that's causing the problem. Right, so this is one of my favourite characters, which is the snowman at the beginning. Now he's had a few names over the years, partly because I didn't really know what to call him. I've called him Snowfuss. I don't want to call him just Frosty, because everybody calls this guy Frosty. You know, Frosty the Snowman. But I didn't want to call him Frosty. I wanted to give him my own name, because he's got a different character as well. He's a different personality, this one. So I called him Snowfuss, Snowfee, but I think Snowflake, the Snowman, I think is better. Although I will say I don't generally like giving characters a name that begins with their, you know, their signature type. So for example, if it's an apple, I don't usually like saying Alfie the apple. I'd rather say Jeremy the apple or something like that, just to differentiate, make it different, not make it, you know, the typical kind of name. And I actually struggled to come up with a name for this character, but I think this year coming up with Snowflake, the Snowman, I think works, even though it's going into that, giving him a, you know, a name that fits the same bill. You know, that's not what I like doing, but I feel that it's good to give him something that's a bit different, not what you don't normally expect. Right, so changing for different Christmas music to something else. Thank you very much for persevering, and as I know that the buffering might be a bit of an issue, and I apologise for that. But I do appreciate you sticking with me on this. And I sincerely do hope that I can one day figure out how I can get the camera work such that there is no buffering or no freezing screens. Now I'm going to say, of all the characters, this is one of my favourites on this, that I like the look of, because he's been, this particular guy has been through a few different variations since I first done it, and where he came about is there was a drawing competition for the local, for Waitrose, at least the local one anyway, where you had to draw your own Christmas carrot, fill these little stars with your artwork or whatever, and I naturally chose to do a snowman, and the snowman design that I did for that was, I liked the face and the cuteness of the face and how he came across, so I thought I might as well just carry on with that and just develop the character, because it wasn't your typical Frosty the Snowman type character, apart from the top hat, which seems which is a bit cliche, but at least had a level of just being a bit more bit different in terms of the just generic kind of look and feel of the guy. So hopefully the camera's such that you can see what I'm drawing. I can't even tell if you can see what I'm drawing, to be honest with you, because my computer is not even showing me the screen. It is concerning. So, but hopefully you can see it. There's all these buttons and such. Yeah, well, over the Christmas period, one of the things I want to try and do is do some test streams. So you might see me jump on to do some tests, but and if they work, then I'll try and do another stream on it, because I would like to finish this off. But I'd like to finish on the stream, but I may have to, depending on how today goes and the previous one, I may have to consider just doing this as a speed up video, which I would like to still do, but I would much prefer it if I could, do it as a stream as well. There's my my snowflake. Okay, so we've got a little Jaws character, so let's try and I want to try and get his eyes a bit more sinister and looking a bit more natural looking. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a better looking eye going on here. And a better mouth as well. Not to mention other things. Yeah, I think that mouth looks a lot better now. Yeah, sorry I can't zoom in that much. This Mac doesn't seem to let me give me the option of doing it on the cameras on this one for some reason. Okay, so before I finish off the shark, who's who by the way is under the water, under the frozen water, let's see if we can get this guy, this ice skater, looking decent. I'll try and give him a bit of a puffer jacket type jacket if I can. That's not too silly. I'm just trying to be a bit more creative with the different types of clothing these guys are wearing. There's his skates. Or her skates. I mean, mostly it's a he's to be honest, but need to get some girls in there. Then again, this could be a girl. Nothing wrong. Nothing to say this couldn't be. It's just something I don't always think about. It's like nothing personal. Just don't always think about it. So I think just so that we've got a variety, let's make her a girl, which I'm sure she was in the original. I think she was in the original, which has fallen on the floor now. Oh dear. 1 second. Oh, where's the original artwork gone? Oh, there it is. Yeah, she was a girl in the original anyway, so I just haven't given her a skirt or whatever. There you go, she turned into a girl now. Yay! And let's get the speed lines in again. See, now I can worry about the shark a bit more. There we go. Try and change this tail a bit. I feel that tail was probably too close now. It's back bit, so let's shift it. It's a good thing about doing it in pencil, but especially when you're refining it, because it gives you start to see things, thinking, oh, actually that's what's wrong. The tail's too close or too forward. Okay, so again, some more ice lines, and obviously she's scraping the ice here. So let's make that so you can see it. So, all right. Okay. So next guy is this one here. Now the head's a bit off slightly, so I'm just going to make a few slight tweaks. I'll give one, maybe try and give one of them little weird sort of Russian hats, you know, ones that covers the ears, like in America. There's his back. Good thing is, because I've worked on the arms so much, I was only really trying to work out what clothes they're going to be wearing. And I kind of feel like he's got some sort of really unusual Santa Clausy type boots with fur on the top. Now I don't think I've really spoken about this in terms of my influences art-wise, and being from the UK, obviously, I mean, we still get Marvel and all that stuff here and stuff like that, but being from the UK, one of the biggest comic influences here is comics like the Beano and the Dandy, and so I've grown up with those kind of comics. So those have been the ones that I've enjoyed the most, and oddly enough. And I actually forgot about this until recently. The only reason I got into them is because my dad used to order them. He used to get them in. You know, he used to actually read the Beano and the Dandy himself, and so he would give it in to us, and then obviously he would pass it on to us to read. Now I don't know whether he bought it for us and he just used us as an excuse to get them, or what. I don't know. But I remember that was something he used to do, is get the Beano and the Dandy on a regular basis. So like the Bash Street Kids and everything else. Although I was probably more into the Beano than the Dandy itself. I think Dandy was a bit, the artwork on the Dandy for some reason didn't quite fit with my style that much. You know, some of the characters in there, the stories weren't quite to my taste, but still enjoyed it. Still some, you know, great characters in there. But the Beano was the one that was really one of my early influences in terms of comics. And then the comics called Whizzer and Chips came out. Whizzer and Chips, no, it was Whizzer and Chips, and there was another one, I can't remember the name of it. So if anyone that's watching remembers that, might be able to help me with that. But yeah, Whizzer and Chips was one of my favourites. And there were two things I liked about that, two main things. One, the artwork was brilliant. The artwork you're seeing now is very much influenced by that. I loved the artwork, the art style, and everything else. I also found the humour was a little bit more mature as well. Although the Beano was funny, it was kind of very, what's the word? I don't want to say dumbed down, but it was borderline childish, the humour on the Beano, whereas Whizzer and Chips, the humour was much more solid. Just a little bit more grown up for my liking, which I thought was quite good. And this is where a lot of this is heavily influenced on. I say, consider this is a hard pencil. It seems very soft in terms of the design work. Now this one's going to be an interesting character. Because even though his arms are all wonky over here, I think it kind of works in a funny kind of way. Because his arms like flailing behind him. What I want to try and do is do it so his clothes are all sort of flapping about a bit as well. Just to add that sense of I've been smacked in the face with a massive snowball. In fact, I'm even going to make that splat that bit more impactful than I've done on here. Like bosh. So let's try and get the angle right on the snowball. So it's right in there, okay. Boom. Bosh, there you go, look at that. Let's have some punchlines. This is another thing about Wizard and Chips I liked, is that I can't tell you which artist it was, but there was an artist that did their punch, you know, their impact lines like this, and it's a technique I've used. I've never really changed it really because it's such a really good technique. It really gets the point across. I've been hit in the face very hard with something very cold and wet. Try and give him boots. I'm also trying to refine the actual feet as I'm going along. Now I've got a little bit of cloth going up here, but I think I can make that even more extreme, so but just add a little bit wider angle. That's it. See, now it's got even more force. I still feel this needs to be more punchy. I do feel this leg just doesn't quite feel like it's really pushing forwards as much, so I'm just going to adjust it slightly. That's a bit better. Let's get rid of this bit here. The top bit. That's it, there we go. See, now it feels more like he's actually putting some power behind his throw, but it wasn't really quite feeling that before. Give me some kind of beanie kind of hat. fingers are slightly off as well, but we'll try and fix that. But it's coming along well. It's just a shame I can't see what you're seeing. So, oh, you're seeing not too bad. Not too bad. Right. Okay. So the wine glass is next. Well, I don't think there's much to be done with that actually. That looks fairly okay. I've also improved the way I do my water as well. I did draw a Jazza competition not too long ago, and we had, and I think it was called Tradigital if I remember rightly, and one of the aspects of that picture was I was drawing a water based picture. And let me just, in fact, let me add that shine in there. Idea being that when I colour it in, I'm leaving a little bit of element on there. But yeah, so the art, well, the competition was called Tradigital, and one of the things that I did with that particular piece was I had a very water-based theme, like liquid, as part of the theme. So I just really was researching how, you know, different ways of drawing liquid, and in doing so, I came up with a slightly different way of drawing it going forwards. Right, I'm not really bowled over by this hand. So even with that, I've tried to change the way in which I do these sort of things. So that's been a positive influence. See, I like the hand, but I think it's too small, if I'm honest. Okay, it's gonna have to do for now, I guess. It's going to have to do. Right, how are we doing? 10 o'clock, so now this show off guy, I want him to give a real smug look. In fact, I'll give him some ski glasses. And a sort of E17 type hoodie type thingy going on there. Just thicken his arms a bit. Now, this particular guy's got ski shoes on, which is why he's kind of a bit smug and everything else. I want to try and, best I can, make them look decent. Trying to get these angles right. That's it, right. Okay, so I've almost done the next stage of this. So it's just a shame that the quality of the stream is not what I want it to be, but gonna work with it until I can figure out how I can make it better. I'm gonna have to just bite my lip and go, okay. It's my random little submarine tubey thing. Okay, now this is one of my second favourite character, this reindeer. I feel this reindeer's really got some real good personality about him, or her. As the case may be. I think the thing I like the most about this character, this particular one, is just the shape of the shape of the body and the head. You know, another bugbear of mine is my animal artwork, and I feel like on this occasion I've really nailed the design of the art of the beast. May not be perfect, may still need some work going forwards, but for the most part I'm kind of pleased with how this creature looks. It's got a really good face. Trying to best match the other side of the piece. Right, now this one's got a little bit of humour on it, this particular character, which you I don't know if you saw on the last on the Twitch stream, but you might see on this one. I really do like the shape of this guy. Okay, and there's the tail. Right, now for the humorous bit. I think this time you might suss what it is. In fact, on reflection, probably even good to have a bit of melted snow, just to really emphasise it a bit more. I've even had a couple of other aspects to it. Okay. Right, I'm going to work on one more character, and then next time around I'm going to work on the house. So I'm not going to do too much more tonight. I think we've done quite a bit to get this ready. So I think the next time I'll do this, unless I can get the stream to work, I'll probably do it as a speed up video. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's him done. Do you know what? Let's do the house. Let's do it, man. Try and add a little bit more detail on it. Give it that Swiss feel. Because I know sometimes they have little patterns on the inside of the building, don't they? And I'm going to put two little circles or semicircles here. Not sure what pattern I'm going to do, but I just want to give it a bit of something. I'll do a little triangle here. See, little things like this I wouldn't have thought when I did the original picture. I didn't think about stuff like this, you know, adding these little additional details to make it have a bit more character. Now in hindsight, I think that should be longer to match the other side. So I don't know. Seems to be more triangles on the other side. No mind, don't worry about it. Some kind of pattern there. Okay, right. So we've got a little window. Say for 4H though, this pencil does feel a little too soft. Because the other pencils I've used do seem to be a little sharper in terms of their general pattern. Now, I hadn't really planned to do a different design, but I think for the door, but I think it'd be good to give it a bit more of a interesting looking door than the one I've given it previously. give a little inner groove so it doesn't know it's there. Okay, so this is going to be the window bit. So I'm going to do kind of a stained glass effect, but I'm going to be really corny and put a tree in it. And then we've got the little door panels. Okay, so that's that side. I think I'll just extend that just by one. I think if we do any more, that would be too much. Okay, so we've got our wood panel. And then the next bit of wood panel on the other side. Because we've got a little window in here. Let's try to really clear that little window. Good, good. Let's do a bit of details on our tree. Now there's going to be a fence in front of this, so although I'm putting all the detail in, the fence will supersede it, but I need to have that tree at least there so you can see very clearly where it's going to go, so that when I put the fence in, it will at least make a bit of sense. In the grand scheme of things on the picture. Okay, so one window here. And you know what would be good, I think, is to do the little heart shape sometimes you get on some of these windows, little wood panels. And then this one can have one that's a bit open. And then one half closed. And then one here as well. Right, I'm going to be wrapping up I think in a minute. Because I am getting tired now. Now there's some sort of sign I've got on this, so which is planning to be a neon sign. go. Put some little flashy lights on the top. Alright, so I'm gonna stop there. It's been interesting. The quality of the picture I know has not been the way I would like it, but hopefully it's been interesting enough of a stream that you've actually been able to enjoy watching. Thank you very much for those that have joined me tonight. I will continue to try and tweak the streaming bits, and I can see my main camera's gone off, which is great. I will continue to work on tweaking the stream so I can get a nice smooth stream. But one of the things I do need is to get one of those capture cards, which again I'm hoping that'll be the thing that will make the difference. I don't know. It's just something I'm still trying to get refined. But just to recap, this was the original piece. This was the original drawing, drawn in 2012 with all the different elements. So you've got the three kings at the top there. I'm not sure what that is actually. I need to figure what I've done there. You've got the Swiss cottage house, which I'm going to turn into grotto. We've got the reindeer, igloo, a few other bits and pieces on it. There's a couple. I say there's one character on there that I did